Oh, I think it is. Hey guys, I think I need some more lighting. I think my lighting is a bit off. Let me see. Get a little bit of light there. A bit of light going. Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better. I had to adjust my lighting. Come on in here. Come on in here. Ambitious women in finance and sales. Come on in here. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, y'all. I don't even have my phone with me to dive inside of the group. So you guys gonna have to help me out tonight. Anywho, come on in here. Give me a one in the chat just to make sure that you can hear me. One in the chat to make sure you can hear me. We're good to go. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Ambitious Women Manifesto Guide. We're going to be talking about that. What is a manifesto? What does that mean to you? Why you need a manifesto? I'm just super excited to come on in here and share with you the knowledge and expertise. Yeah, it has been like this week, like my schedule has been like fluctuating or off. Like I woke up at 4 a.m. That's normally my time to wake up. And when I woke up at 4, it was kind of like, okay, I'm up, but what am I going to do? So around 4 a.m., I will work all the way until probably 1, 2 o'clock. And then at 3 o'clock, I get tired. And I'm like, and I'm asking my son, I'm like, why am I tired? And I realized that I've been up, I'm tired because I've been up for so long, right? So I've been up for so long. So I'm like, crap, that's why I'm tired. So, anyways, yes, had to make a note of that. Let me come in here. Let me get things started. All right. So we're going to be talking about Ambitious Women Manifesto. What is a manifesto? Speaking of being tired, there are so many times, and I have a goal, like everyone here. Tell me what your goal is. Go ahead and put in the chat for me. I have a goal where I there's some things that I want to do. There's some things I want to manifest for my life, and sometimes me wanting that goal, there are days when I just don't feel up to it. Right? I don't feel like doing the task necessary to get the thing done. Right? I don't feel like executing. I'm just exhausted or I'm tired and I got a lot going on. And even though I know the goal, what the execution I need to do, sometimes I just don't feel up to it to execute. And I started it, and then when I don't do it, then I feel guilty because I didn't do it. Right? I feel guilty because I didn't do it. So then I'm like, crap, this is not you. You need to be executing at a higher level. This is me talking to myself. Okay. You need to be executing at a higher level. And then that guilt starts set in. Can you relate? Like anyone, you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, so, so as earlier in my career, as a master financial life coach, I knew that execution is crucial in your business. Execution of marketing, execution of sales, execution of mindset. All those three things are super crucial in your business. So, but I also had to tell myself that I had to give myself a lot of grace. And I want you to give yourself a lot of grace if some days you wake up and you're like, this is not it. I don't feel like doing it today. So I created the Ambitious Women Manifesto because there's some things that I collaborately say over the Mondays of these trainings. And I wanted to just kind of package that manifesto into one guide. So it has helped me over the years. So when I don't feel like going, when I don't feel like executing at a higher level, because you're going to have that. You're going to have kids are home from school. Your day plan. You're going to knock out some reels, some exposure plan. You're going to knock out some reels. You're going to go live. And then life get in the way, right? And then you're frustrated because you feel like you're behind. Give me a 3 in the chat if you understand where I'm coming from. So now you're frustrated because you feel like you're behind when you're like, man, I should have been further ahead. I should have done this marketing and I didn't do it. Or I should have launched this master class about my services and I didn't do it. I should have done this challenge and I didn't meet the deadline. So thank you, Sean. Thank you for your honesty. And that was how some days that I was feeling. So sometimes I need a manifesto, a guide to remind me that even though I didn't do it today, the goal doesn't change. The goal doesn't stop. Thank y'all for your honesty. So even though I didn't get it accomplished today, the goal never stops. It doesn't stop because I didn't. So along the way, right, having something written in front of me like a declaration to say, "Hey, yes, I didn't get it done, but I know I'm going to get it done tomorrow," or it doesn't make it, I don't hold it doesn't hold any justice of who you are as a person. You're still great. You're still ambitious. You're still amazing. It doesn't hold any justice because you're not leading yourself. There's a higher power that's leading you that's greater than yourself. So I had to constantly remind myself of that. I had to constantly remind myself of that situation because if I didn't, I would have this guilt or this lack of self-doubt that set in. Some of y'all can relate to what I'm saying. I'm saying if this is resonate with you, give me a 3 in the chat. So what I did for this community of ambitious women, I created this guide and these guide are just some principles of what I have said over and over to remind me daily of who I am, to remind me daily of the power that I hold, right? I created this guide there are days when that's there, I forgot her name. She has this song saying that she looks good, she look fly. And God, what is her name? She's a rapper. And she created a song and saying that she look in the mirror, she look good, she look fly. It was when she was going through her postpartum depression, right? When she just had her baby, she was going through postpartum. She was looking at her weight, she was looking at all this stuff. And she says she had to keep telling herself that. She had to keep talking to herself in a way. And that turned out to be a song, a big hit and a song later on. Oh God, I can't think of her name right now. But the point here is this, like, I think we all need what we call a manifesto in our life. We all need that when life try to tell you something else, you can read back, you can look back at it and say, devil. No, 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 no. So, so as I go through the process, I kept having this conversation with myself and says, as highly driven as I am, right? Super highly driven as I am, people often ask me, oh, and shout out to look here. She told me I was in a magazine. Didn't even know I was in a magazine this week. 3 pages or 2 pages, something. And they're like, girl, you're in a magazine. Okay. So shout out to her for letting me know that I'm in a magazine. And I was just telling Jasmine, like, what magazine am I in? So shout out to her for letting me know that. So, but that's how much these different intricacies of things come in to remind, like, girl, you're doing good. Like, tweak, you gotta tweak your own horn sometimes. So with that being said, what I did, I went above and beyond and created a manifesto for this group because I wanted you to when you wake up, and let me say this, when you're reading this declaration, because I'm going to give it away for you for free, just stand by, I'm going to give it to you for free. When you start reading this manifesto, it's not just reading it when you're down. You need to be reading this on a daily basis so you can say it to yourself, you can understand what you stand for. And when you are able to execute and say these things on yourself and kind of understand this guide, the manifesto is what you manifesting for yourself, what you see yourself as. And there are plenty of times that I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit. We give other people more credit than we give ourselves. So anything that we can have as a full reminder of how great we are, as a full reminder how amazing we are, of a full reminder. And I think when I'm on a podcast, people ask me, how are you so driven? How are you so this? My biggest thing is I don't wait till the day I'm down to praise myself. I don't wait till the day I'm down to go hard. So I may get $1 million today and I'm still going at the same level like I don't have $1 million in the bank, right? That was the biggest thing that I learned. So two things I want you to take away. Number one, regardless of how successful you feel, you still execute. Regardless of how down you feel, you still execute, right? So there's like a zing there, right? So the reason I'm saying that is plenty of times that we get on this wavelength where we feel like we're down, we don't feel like doing the work, we don't feel like executing, or we're happy, we're like, oh, we're good today. That can be a foolery, okay? That can be a foolery. So that's why when you plan out, you see us behind, you see my calendar behind me. Look at that calendar, right? We're planning out our 2024 year, right? So regardless of what I don't allow my feelings, happy, joyful or not, to dictate what my execution is on that day, because it's the feeling is so our women especially, our emotions go up, our emotions go down. So therefore it's challenging to rely on our feeling to tell us if we're successful or not. That's why we got to know internally that we are successful. And again, and we know internally if we're successful or not. That is the beauty of knowing that. So I sat down and created this. I think I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can share my screen with you and see if I can show you what I'm saying, so you guys can have an idea. I'm gonna make sure you grab this. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Let me do it a little bit better on that. Okay, there you go. So this is your manifesto guide. It's for your ambitious women in sales, driven by passion and success and love for God. Um, and the reason why I had to have this manifesto is because I'm such self-driven. Like if I'm working on something, how many people is like that? Like when I'm getting my mode, I just get in my mode and I just execute at a high level. So sometimes I give myself break, give myself grace because I just want to finish it. And then everything else get neglected because I'm just on this drive, right? I'm on this because when I break, I break. But when I'm on this drive, I'm on this drive. So I created this manifesto to be able to help you as a guide for our community, for you to be able to remember who you are as a person. Remember who you are, so when life get rough or you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey, you know what, I this is what I stand for. It's like a decoration. And I just wanted, this is my gift to you guys, because you guys have been right in this community, coming here on Monday nights listening to me. And if you want it, it's pretty much free. When you put your name in here, there's in here, how Thrive card is, you put a card in, but as you can tell, it's zero. Nothing is charged. As you can tell, it's zero. But that's how Thrive Card give away free lead magnets. So as you can tell, the Ambitious Women Manifesto is set to zero. And then sometimes, and also there's another thing too for a planner, because as a woman who is driving for success, we have to have planning. Like, notice what I said, like we are already planning out what we're going to do next year. What is our thing? What is our master classes? What is our challenge? What is our events that we're having? What are all the things that we have for our clients? So as a CEO, you should know also what's being planned. So when you have to take a break, like when you get sick or when something happened that's beyond your control, you can breathe a little bit because it's not by accident. So do you have a declaration and something that you say in the morning? Do you have something that reminds you of how great you are? I want to know what is that morning routine. And I just don't want to say morning routine because, like I said, by 3 o'clock, I was tired today. Right. And I'm like, why am I tired? And then I look back and I was like, hold up. I'm tired because I've been up since for 12 hours. So here I am thinking that I'm not working as much as I should work. Then I realize, oh, I'm actually am. Okay. You know, because we can be fooled so much by measuring our success based on what we are not doing. So that's why it was important for me to remind you, this community of ambitious women who are in sales and finance, that you are great. Within the manifesto, it's just like a decoration. And one of the declaration is create being able to be a CEO. And CEO means you're not doing everything in your business, right? You're not doing everything in your business. Your business is thriving, and you don't get distracted because you don't feel like you're doing anything. First of all, any person decide to be a CEO, decide to be an entrepreneur, you're not crazy. You're great. You weren't crazy for starting your business. You're brave. So kudos to you. You're brave. You're not crazy. And knowing this is why I created this manifesto guide, for something for you just to read on your leisure and give you that inspiration to remind you of these principles of who truly you are. So if you want to pick that up, we have the manifesto guide. I'm going to drop it here. And also there is upsell too, if you want to grab that planner as well. That is also there as well, because again, execution is super, super important when it comes to be able to plan your year. I mean, we have what? How much weeks left in this? It's like seven. Somebody said was 7 weeks. I'm like, 7 weeks already? Like, it's just like, what? Like, that's it? That's all left? That is all that is left in this year. So hearing that and knowing this is like, if you really look at companies already have their 2024 year planned out. They already have. That's part of manifesting and creating a manifesto of what you want, is already have that plan out. So when you're using this guide is pretty much, when you're using this manifesto guide, it's pretty much for you to learn how to make an impact on the days where you're like, oh my God, I didn't get all the things that I need done. It's pretty much for you to remember, you said remind you that it's okay. You're fine. You're good. It's okay. You don't have to get everything done, and that's okay. You're still dominating. You're still great. You're still God's masterpiece. You're still all of that in a bag of chips, right? That's why I created it, because I know some days um you may not feel like it. So if this is a free guide that you need, just put me in the chat. I think it seems like it went everywhere else but my Facebook group. So put me in the chat and I will make sure we give you the link to this free download this free Ambitious Women Manifesto. And again, this is my gift to you. It's free. And this is for you uh grabbing back your power. Grabbing back your power. I see some me in the chat. That's awesome. Okay, I'll make sure you get that. I see some more me's in the chat. I'll make sure you get that. Um, yeah, go ahead and put me in the chat and I'll make sure that you get a copy of it. This is for you, because when you're going through things like loss of job, a divorce, or losing a child or a miscarriage, uh, while still trying to create a business that will multiply and leave a legacy, while you're still trying to do that, the feelings that you get that come up on you is like, I'm not doing enough. I should be further ahead. The feelings that come up for you can make you feel like this is not working, when in reality it is. That's why you cannot measure your life based on your feelings, because your feelings want to keep you safe. So when you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, this is a manifesto guide to remind you that you are. To remind you that you are God's chosen one, to remind you that not because you're going through a particular situation right now does not define who you are. It does not define the person that you are. So I really want to hone that in with you, because I wish someone had told me that when I was growing my business. I wish someone had said to me, hey, this doesn't define who you are. You are still great. You're still God's chosen one. And I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I had to know that for myself. So through these manifestos and reading it over to myself, I was able to define that. So this is what it looks like. And you have a private personal letter from me, and it just talks about what the manifesto is. And we're talking about embracing a driven determination, right? We embrace our inner fire and drive, harnessing towards our goal. We understand that success is not handed to us, but earned through hard work, dedication, unwavering belief in our abilities, unwavering belief in our abilities. It talks about faith, family, and freedom. We cherish our faith in God, recognizing that provide us with the strength and guidance need to navigate the challenges of sales in the financial world. We hold our family close and value precious moments. What does that mean? That means that We work our business around our family, not our family around our business. That really holds true for me, because there been plenty of time I said no to opportunities because it did not line up with my family goals. And I'm like, oh, plenty of time, like, Jasmine, I don't think I'm going. Nah, I don't think I'm going. Right. So all of this is all of this is all the things that I've said over these lives. And I just kind of package it again as a reminder that, baby, you're great. So if this is something that you want, if this is something that you think hearing it and understanding it and feeling it is going to truly help you, just put me in the chat. It's free. And then you can have a copy of it as well. Just put me in the chat and I'll make sure you get it. So, and there's nothing here that you didn't already kind of heard me say, but sometimes as a business owner, as women, we need a reminder. We need someone to remind us how great we are. And this is my way of saying, I'm grateful for you being in this community. And because I believe when you realize how great you are, well, how brave you are to decide to bet on yourself, when you realize how great you are, how amazing you are, you start betting on yourself. I guarantee it that everything in your life will literally change, because you're working from a high value. Go back to the top. You're working for high value thinking. You're working from a higher thinker, constantly seeking ways to elevate your skills, knowledge, and expertise. We understand the importance of conscious learning and personal development, recognizing that is the key to unlocking our true potential. So if you need somebody to remind you that you're a high value thinker, this will remind you that you're a high value thinker. Time and freedom is priceless. That's our priceless commodities. So I had a big event that's coming up in Houston, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know. And I said, okay, if I get my son's science project done in time, then I will go. And that's the conversation my team and I was having, because again, I value my family time. I value being able to come here, work my business. I could have, listen, so many times I see people get these place, they get they rent out these spaces to conduct their business, and turn around and have to close the spaces because the money's not generating revenue, right? So they end up having to close their rental space. And I was always like, I got the best of both worlds. I have an office, I have a home, I can just jump out. I have always been like, no, my money is not going to that. I'm gonna manage my money effectively. So that's time, because time and freedom is important to me. I can do my son's homework, get in my office, stay in my office, stay in my studio. So it's so important to work your business around your family, right? But again, that doesn't mean you're not executing, because I just said at the top, we talk about embracing driven determination. So as an ambitious woman, we are super driven, super driven. So if you need a copy of this, just put me in this inside of the chat. I would just come into you today as a reminder that you are great. I was coming to you today. It's a little different from what I typically do, right? I'm coming to you today to remind you that you're great. If you needed to hear this today, I'm telling you that you're brave, you're courageous, right? You're brave, you're courageous. You are called to this. And I believe that when you're called to do something, everything that you need to make it happen will happen for you. 100%. 100%. Everything that you're called to do is not a mistake. It's happening for a reason. And I'm just glad to be part of the ride, watching you grow, watching this community of ambitious women grow. And I said, what can I create that remind them every day, that when they see it, when they get it, that remind them every day that regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of the kids acting up, regardless of the money in their bank account, regardless of what, they're still great. Because those outside factors, and I cannot stress this enough, though people ask me, how did you survive all the stuff I went through? Because I knew the outside factors that I have no control of cannot define who I am, because of all these things, because of all these things that I've said to y'all in the training. I've said to y'all over and over. I said it on stage. So I just package them together and remind you. So when I'm not around to tell you, you have something to remind you. If this helped you in any way, give me a high five in the chat. If this information, what I just said, helped you in any way. So because you can be in a 1-bedroom studio and have a not 1999 or 1909 Honda, and that still doesn't define who you are. Those are external factors. Those are external factors. Those are like, it's called lifing, right? Those are all lifing things that are happening. You're not stuck. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. Those are all external factors that has nothing to do with how great you are, how brave you are, how courageous you are, how credible you are, keyword, right? It has nothing to do with that. So when you are planning your 2024 year, because we're only 7 weeks away, Lord, I cannot believe this. Read back to this manifesto. Go back. We have a planner too. That's what a 12-month planner, marketing and profit planner too, that you can pick up on this thing. And when you read back, go back and plan your year based on what this manifesto guide is telling you that you are, not based on what you think, because you could be having a bad day. I can have a bad day and still believe I'm great. And again, why? Because of high value thinking, because knowing the spiritual and practical principles of what I stand on. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Give me a yes this in the chat if that makes sense. Right. And that's what I stand on. I can have a bad, I wouldn't even say a bad month. I can have a challenge. I don't like the word bad. I can have a challenging month financially, and I can have my son and acting up and lots of things that pulling me in different ways, and still know that I'm great. Those activity that's happening outside does not deter me from where I see myself. I don't even like to talk politics, but what I take away, and I hate to say this, but what I take away from Donald Trump, he hasn't taught y'all anything. He teaches you that it's not what you think about me, is what I think about myself. That's what he has taught me. Because no matter what you tell him, he believes he's great, and there's nobody can tell him differently. And that's unfortunately, that's how you got to think about yourself. Nobody else can tell you you're great. You should know you're great. And sometimes when we go through life happenings, we forget that. So I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you of that you are doing great. You are exactly where you need to be, because you where you are need to be is the plant, is the foundation, is planting the foundation of your greatness, right? One of the lady on the podcast, she said, "Do you have any regrets?" I was doing a podcast, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, I'm on a podcast. I'm in a magazine this month. Look, I love when I heard this Apple doing us the thumbs up now. I love it. I'm on a podcast. I'm on a magazine, and I even know I was in a magazine, right? Until somebody on Facebook showed me that I was. Oh, you're in the magazine. I'm like, oh, okay, right. So what regret do I have? Like, yes, I went through all this stuff, and yes, I always air my dirty laundry to you guys. But had I not gone through that, I would not be reaping the harvest of that. Right. And there's also things in life that I'm going to go through. I have not arrived. I'm still growing. You're still growing. You have not arrived. You're still growing. You're still. So, but the growing comes with challenges, and it comes with greatness too. So if you're going to accept the greatness, if you're going to accept the courage, if you're going to accept all the great things, that greatness, joy that comes, you got to also accept the challenges too. So I welcome both with grace. I welcome both with grace. And I am able to welcome both with grace based on these manifesto guide, based on the stand on these guides, these declaration of reminding myself day in and day out that I'm not here for me. I'm here on purpose, for a purpose, by a purpose. Let me say it again. You're here on purpose, for a purpose, by a purpose. So regardless of your external things, regardless of what's going on in your life, you are here. Everything you're going through is to get you on the right part. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So when you can believe that and understand, even believing that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through ups, that you're not going to go through down. That's the problem. That's the thing people don't understand. I'm going to start a business. Okay, you can start a business. That doesn't mean that business is going to solve every single thing. That doesn't mean you're not going to go through trials as you and tribulations. As let me tell you something. The difference between successful people and people who are unsuccessful is not that they don't go through challenges. I was listening to a gentleman. God, I love to give credit when credit is due, and he was saying high value people. The difference that they go through is they go see a problem and they're like, okay, what is the solution? Let's go. They don't sit and marinate in that problem. Like my son, my son on Sunday, last week Sunday, he's like, "Mommy, I just can't play. I hurt myself, and I just can't play, and I hurt my foot, and I need you to tell coach that I can't play soccer." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you stay home from church. I'm gonna let you stay home from church, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you stay home from church. When I come back from church, because soccer was after church, I need you to have your uniform on, ready to go." And I said, "I need you to be ready to go." Now, he went on, put his uniform on, pouting, because that's what 11-year-old do, pouting because he didn't want to play because he claimed his feet hurt. Let me tell you, by the time we got out there, that boy was out on the field playing. That was his best game ever. Best game ever. Had I fall into the trap of saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, you were truly hurt." No, I didn't play into that. Now, was he probably hurt? Yeah, but not hurt to the capacity where he cannot play. There's a big difference in that. So that's why, as a mom, I'm training him at this age to don't play victim, because that's when you get stuck. That's when you get stuck. Something else I want to point out, and I'll hop off. Again, if you want the Ambitious Women Manifesto guide, if you want that, just put me in the chat. It's free for you to download it. Just put me in the chat. I'll make sure that you get it, and I send it over to you tonight for you to get it. And I would say this: when you fall for that, I'm a victim, I would be further ahead. There are three, and maybe I should have said this next week, but you may hear me paraphrase this again because we have a guest speaker next week. There are three ways to get whatever you desire in life. There are three things, and write this down. And somebody, if you're listening to this, go ahead and put it in the chat as well. Here are the three things you have to do in order to get whatever you need. You have to have, do, and be. Have, do, and be. And if you're listening to this, go ahead and put that in the chat. Have, do, and be. What do I mean by have? Have. So many times there people say, if I had money, then I would do this. So I'll be able to do that. I hear that all the time. If I didn't have kids, I would be able to do this. So I would be able to be that, like a nurse or something, right? I hear it all the time. Had I not had kids early, have, do, and be. So I hear them say this lingo all the time, when in reality, they have it backwards. If I had this, then I would do this, and then I would be able to do this. So they're doing this have, do, and be, but they have it backwards. And they have it backwards because they don't even realize what they're saying. I cannot tell you, I maybe at a hairdresser, and you hear people say that all the time, and I'm like, what? Because the reality is, you got to flip it on its head. It's really be, do, and have. It's really be, do, and have. Put that in the chat. So you have to be, as in become that. You have to be, as in become that. And when you become what you seek, you start doing it. And when you do it, you can have it. Let me give an example. I just told you my son is a soccer player. right? I just told you this is so good. Y'all, man, you may need to write this down. This is so good. You may need to write this down. Put right in the chat if you're ready to go, because this is, oh my gosh, this is going to change your life. Literally, and I guarantee it. So, I just told you that my son is a soccer player, right? He is a soccer player. What does that mean? That means he had go to soccer practice. That mean he have soccer games. That mean he she said, wait, write it down. That means he uh all we just came from 3 birthday parties of all his soccer friends, right? He got his soccer uniform, he got his soccer gear. They watch soccer game when they're not at soccer. I'm with the soccer mom. We're soccer moms. We have this soccer mom shirt on. Everything we do, everything soccer. That's the only sports he plays is soccer. So he's not doing soccer. He's a soccer player. That gonna get to somebody soon. So he's a soccer player. The games, or his whatever you call it, for the Fortnite, whatever they all that stuff, soccer, right? So many of us are doing something. Said, I'm a this. I am a speaker. I am a life insurance agent. I am. You have to become what you say you are. So what if I say that I am a speaker? If I say I do sales speaking, what does that look like? If I say I'm an agent, life insurance professional, what does that look like? It's not just writing a policy or marketing. You have to become what you seek. So I travel to speak to financial professionals to help them with their sales everywhere I go, right? I travel to speak and help them with their sales conversation. I'm flying to go do that in a few days, right? Because I am a sales speaker, right? I am a transfer. So what does that mean for you? And what that means is I'm looking at speaking techniques. I'm looking at people speaking. I have speaker friends. I have so when you're saying that you're becoming doesn't mean I'm doing drumming. And that's not me. No, are you a drummer? If you're a drummer, you're taking drummer lessons, you're signing up with other drummer people. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the become the person, not just I'm an agent. Okay, what does the agent do? Agent is investing in himself. They're finding out more information. They're going to conferences. You have to embody and become that person. And so by doing the things that person do, that thing do. When we're not at soccer, we're at the soccer field for a birthday party. We live there. Like I'm like, what is this? We live there, right? So they're not you cannot say, oh, he's going to play soccer, he's on a soccer team. No, he is a soccer player. Right? We do everything soccer. We do everything soccer. So let's put yourself or myself in that situation. Who are you? And are you in becoming in your doing? Do you do the things? If you say you're becoming that thing or you become that person or become whatever title you take on, how are you? If I say I'm a speaker, I show up every Monday at 7 p.m. for this show, right? Because I'm a speaker. I'm not becoming a speaker. I am a speaker. You got to say who you are because you got to be that person, right? No matter how great you are at it, are you doing all the things that vehicle require to claim that title? And so many of us, when people are telling me, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be able to communicate effectively to get my target audience to understand, you have to work on your messaging. There's just no way around that. You have to work on the messaging, the communication aspect of how you're dealing with your clients. So what does that have to do with anything? My point here is this, like when I'm working out, there's a hat that I wear that says acquisition hat. I forgot the hat. I have books that I read that are like these are my books that I'm working on right now. These are my books right now that I'm reading. Like literally, there's three of them. I can't find the other one. But that's what I embody what I am. I'm embodied. You have to be that and do the thing that that thing does. So in the chat right now, before I hop off, who are you? Are you doing? And so when you're deciding should you do or not do something, you just got to ask yourself simple. If you say I'm a transformation speaker, I'm a financial professional, whatever you may put your title to be, then you ask yourself, what does this person who say that they are, what do they do? Do they not invest in themselves? Do they not um do marketing? Do they, if you say you're a CEO, what does that look like? And I guarantee you that if you constantly say you're one thing, but you're doing is not in alignment with what you say you are, what you're being, of course you're not going to see sales. Of course you're not. If everything that you want is in the free level, but you say you are in a successful agent, you say you are a successful tax professional, a success that don't even go together. That don't even go together, right? So if you want to have your first $1 million, you have to start with the B. Being. Being, who are you? And then with that being, who are you? Then you do what that being is. If you say you're a successful financial professional, well, successful financial professional invest in themselves. Successful financial professional work on their personal development. Successful financial professional teaches them their self teaching, learn the policies and agreements and all this stuff, whatever it needs to do. That's what they do. But they don't just stop there. They work on their personal development. If you call yourself a CEO, you got to do what CEO do. See, you got to inside of my last credibility cash flow challenge, you heard what if you guys were in VIP, that's another thing, right? VIP, I said to the lady, I said, where you're trying to go or where you're trying to be that your type of people you're seeking don't hang out in free. They don't hang out in free. So if you're trying to seek these 5-star clients or these premium clients, you're not going to seek them because they're in front of the stage. They're in that private room. They're in front of the first class plane. So how are you going to talk with them if you're not in the room with them? It just you have to be, right? You have to be. It's like, oh, no. I said, if that's the type of clients you want to attract, you're not positioning yourself in the space that they're in to attract those clients. You have to become that person you seek. So if you're saying, hey, I want 5-star client, but every time an opportunity is presented to you, you say no to the opportunity to be in this space, it doesn't really go together. Because so you're not really being what you say you're being, because the people who are being that, they don't go together. So when I figure that out, when I figure out that you got to become that you seek and start doing everything. I had MailChimp. Y'all remember MailChimp? No hate to MailChimp. I had MailChimp when we first started off. I'm like, no, this ain't this. A successful professional don't have MailChimp. That's what I tell myself. So I had MailChimp. I'm like, I got to get something else. So I got to get a higher, more robust thing, so I can build myself into it. So I started seeing certain things, and I said, and then let me tell you, I had 7 people on my admire list, or people I looked to when I was growing my business. And I've worked with all of them. Every single one person, till I had to make another list because I've collaborated with them or I've worked with them or I have hired them in some capacity. And guess how they found me or I found them is being in the space that they're in the space that you're in. So I want to challenge you today that this manifesto guide, that you read it out loud boldly to yourself so you can declare and become and start doing. When people say, well, how do you know you're becoming? Because you're doing the things that they do. Like, you don't have to tell a person who wants success to market their business. You don't have to tell a person who wants success to invest in themselves. You don't have to tell a person who wants success and want 5-star, because premium clients want premium people to work with, right? So it's an alignment. So when you start declaring that you are and start doing everything you can from that vibration, you can have whatever you want. Do, have. You can have whatever you want. It's that simple. It is that simple. So when people are like, oh my God, why you wake up at 4 a.m.? I wake up at 4 a.m. because I need more time to work on my spirit, mind, and body. I need more time to do that. And waking up at 8, 9 o'clock, if I just get an extra 2 hours in the day, in the morning, because it's who I am, right? It's who I am. I'm embodying who the natural successful person. I remember when I was coaching April, and she says, "You're gonna make $1 million." She said to me, she was my coach. Shout out to April Franks. And she said, "You're gonna make $1 million." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Really?" And she said, "Because I had the habits of a person who already have $1 million. Like, I was not afraid to invest in myself, even though I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. I wasn't afraid to show up, even though I'm in a living room going live at that time. I wasn't afraid to. I build the courage up, and I'm inspiring you that you have it too. You have it within you. You have that it factor. And so if you just believe in yourself, and something my pastor says, sometimes people they don't believe in themselves because they don't have faith. They don't have faith within, and they don't have faith. So if you can't believe in yourself because you don't have faith, faith is what we need to work on. Faith that if I invest this money, what's going to happen? You don't trust yourself to do the work. So that's why you can't be, because you don't trust yourself to do so you can have. So that's internal work that need to be done. Like, hey, it's not that I don't think this thing gonna work. I just don't know if I'm gonna do it. Whoo, this is so deep. I don't know if I invest, I'm gonna do the work. So that's an internal issue of why not? Why not? If you saw my post today, why not? They're not for me. And again, everybody get motivated different. I got tired of seeing $50 in my bank account, or negative $50. I got tired of driving around in an unsafe car. The car was broke down. I'm still paying on it. It's unsafe. I don't know who need to hear this. I got tired of when my girlfriend said, let's go on a vacation. I couldn't find the money to go on a vacation because I didn't have enough to make ends meet. But all my friends are gone on cruises and I wasn't able to go. I got tired of when my son had spring break from school. All the kids in his class will go to a special location, where they go to a Jamaica, a cruise or something, to come back in class and say, hey, we went here and we had a good time. My son didn't have that. His experience was week with his mama in the apartment. So those were dividing factors that inspired me through this manifesto guide to say, I'm tired of this. So whatever I got to do to get in this program, whatever I got to do to show up at this conference, whatever I got to do to talk, to do this guide, to say these manifesto guide every day, whatever I got to do, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. And then let me be clear, even when I say I'm going to do it and I was doing it, I still fall short some months. I still had negative $25, negative $50, negative $100. I still fall short, but it get less unless in my bank account, of doing that in my bank account after a while. after a while. So let this video be a inspiration or encouragement for you to say, are you tired like I was? Are you tired? And I don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. But guess what? I'm still doing the same thing I was doing when I had negative money in my bank account and when I hit my $1 million. Still doing the same thing. Nothing changed. The habits never changed. And you can too. You can too. You have to get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of this. You have to get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of this situation. I can't trade a car in, but I want to trade a car in, but I can't trade a car in because the car is broke down, but I can't make these payments. Oh, baby, I got story for days. I don't know who needed to hear this, but I got story for days. So I had to be. So B was hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. B was hard. I had to become. I had to be. B means I want to get in this program, so I need to get a second job to pay for this program. I need to go back to work so I can invest in this program and know what everybody else know. B was hard because there's a lot of stuff I had to do by faith. But I kept believing that if I keep being who I said I want to be, that it don't have a choice but to pay off. You don't have a choice but to pay off. So I'm gonna leave you with this. If you want the Ambitious Women Manifesto Guide, make sure you put me in the chat. I'll make sure you have that. That's my gift to you for showing up here on Monday. Make sure you grab the 12-month marketing profit planner because you're getting ready to go into 2024. Just put me in the chat. And the second thing I'm going to say to you is no more, if I have this, I could do this and I could be this. It's now, if I call myself that I am this, I need to be that and do the things that I say that I am. If I call myself a doctor, that means I need to go to doctorate school. That means I need to invest. That means I need to, if not, then I'm not that yet. And that's okay. And that's okay. I know this is challenging, but I'm not that yet. And that's okay. So you can be that thing. You can be that, like my son, be that soccer player. And when you become, give you an example, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. He's a perfect example. He'll wake up 4 a.m., go work out before his teammates, get in 3 workouts a week, a day, because he was a basketball player. He don't play basketball. He's a basketball player. Big difference. I play the drum. No, but you're not a drummer. Right? He's a basketball player. No, he played basketball. She's a speaker. No, she's a professional speaker. You got to know the difference. He was like, I don't, like when Jay-Z say, I'm not a businessman, I'm the businessman, right? It's the same thing. So some of you guys are playing the role. So, and to me, my bank account is the reason why I want to stop playing the role. I want to be that person. I want to become that person. We got to stop playing the role. When he said that, I was like, oh, okay, I got you. So Kobe Bryant don't play basketball. I don't speak. I am a speaker. I don't, you got to bring that in. My son doesn't play soccer. He's a soccer player. Know the difference. All right. That's it, y'all. I got to jump off. I hope this helped. If you in time when you don't feel like taking another word, either one, you have it and you got to go ahead. I'm gonna put me in the chat. I'll make sure that you have it. This is my gift to you for saying thank you for coming and supporting our community. She said I'm a professional speaker and podcaster. Exactly. So what does a professional speaker do? What do they hang out? Do you go to, and she said podcaster. So do you go to podcast events? You know, there's FinCon, which is a finance conference, right? FinCon, do you go to those places? Every time FinCon happen, I got something going on. Every time, promise you, every time. But those are what say that you are, right? You live and breathe what you are. Like you literally live and breathe, just like Kobe, live and breathe basketball. Because that's what you are. I don't know anything about anything else. But I know about this. I know how to create cash flow. I know how to help you build your credibility. All right. And you can too. She said, I understand. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right. So grab the Ambitious Women Manifesto Guide, read it to yourself, read it out loud so you can remember that you are dynamic, you are powerful. I love you. Good night.